Forget what you learned in school. Never mind what your parents told you, and disregard what your friends say. From now on, the only people you need to listen to are these guys. For the next several minutes, they'll take you on a journey through the political jungle. And when your journey is over and you're safe at home, they promise you'll be stronger, smarter, and just plain better. So buckle up, hang on to your ears, because your journey starts now.
Maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems to certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
Good old Bob Hope. Like
zombies are much worse, or much better than Democrats.
Yeah, because
Democrats are much worse than zombies, is what I meant.
Democrats can vote. Well, the dead can vote in certain areas, can't they?
Yeah.
I don't know about the living dead, but the dead can vote.
I can't remember the name of this zombie movie, but they were fighting for zombie rights to vote because the zombies were going to vote for Bush. And all the zombies were ex-military, and Republicans are only about military.
That was Nightmare on Pennsylvania Avenue.
I don't remember what it was, but it was a good movie other than the political over and undertones.
Well, we want to welcome you to another episode of At Odds for a wonderful journey into the political jungle with your hosts, Nate and Brian. Hi, Nate.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
We are broadcasting from the back room of the Angel Fish and Ale pub and studio in the small village in what country, Nate?
Malta,
where you get your Malta meals.
This is where Malta meal was invented.
I don't think so.
It had to be.
No, I'm not.
Guinea pigs are from Guinea, and Malta meal is from Malta.
Well, you may be right. I don't know.
It's common sense.
Well, where's Captain Crunch from?
America.
I guess he's a American captain. I don't know. Hey, today's show is going to be really special because we're going to talk with the one and only and the very beautiful Jan Morgan.
Yes.
Jan will be one of the keynote speakers at the pro-gun rally at the Michigan State Capitol on March 20th. We look forward to talking with Jan. She's going to come on a little bit later in the show. We'll talk to her about the ongoing attack on gun rights and gun ownerships in this country and more, so stay tuned. We also want to remind you that we are live, except when we're not. But right now, you can call in at 248-455-ODDS. That's 248-455-6337.
Yep, we are live Tuesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check that show out at oddshow.com, and then rebroadcast on Red State Talk Radio throughout the week.
Red State Talk Radio, the greatest internet talk show radio station in the country.
World, even.
Wait a minute, are we worldwide now?
Yeah, the internet, they've made it to Malta.
When did they do that?
Last week.
Huh.
It was...
I did not get the memo.
Yeah, I know, you wouldn't have. You wouldn't have.
No,
but...
I wouldn't have read it anyways.
Right.
We also want you to like us on Facebook.
Fakebooks.com/@oddshow.
Okay, go there. And www.oddshow.com for all the latest stuff of what's going on in our show. We also want to remind you to donate to the Capital Area District Library versus the Michigan Open Carry. That's going maybe to the Michigan Supreme Court. We'll see if they will hear it or not. We won't find out until probably June or so. We also want to invite you to go to the pro-gun rally, where Jan will be one of the keynote speakers, along with Doug Giles, and a lot of state politicians and other members of gun right organizations within the state. March 20th, right?
Yeah, next Wednesday.
And we will have a great band there playing all kinds of music, high-class truckers.
High-class truckers, yeah. And a special guest with them singing the national anthem. So one of their good friends,
Really?
also a very beautiful woman.
Ooh.
So that should be a treat.
You didn't tell me
No, I
that. You
didn't.
were
It's
saving that.
It's a surprise.
It is a surprise. We also want you to check out Nate and I's book. Nate and I's book?
We're not writers.
We write is good. MyParentsOpenCarry.com. You can go there, check out the book, order 10 or 20 copies, give them out for Christmas presents, birthday presents.
Yeah, Christmas is coming.
Yep, it's right around the corner.
So it's a perfect gift for Christmas or for birthdays or for Saturday.
Or how about Mother's Day and Father's Day?
Yep.
I have a famous presidential quote for you, Nate. You ready for it?
I'm not good at these.
I know. You've done pretty well in the past, actually. This is a short one, and it's probably more applicable now than ever. And this fine gentleman said, "The price of freedom is eternal vigilance."
Oh, Jefferson.
Franklin Roosevelt Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson.
Absolutely correct.
Thomas
Ding,
Jefferson.
ding, ding, ding.
That one I knew without any help.
Thomas
I know a couple.
Jefferson.
I know a couple.
Look at that.
A couple of presidents.
What? That was pretty loud.
Oh yeah, the
Anyways,
loud today.
Yep, Thomas Jefferson said that.
Cool.
Well, I wanted to mention really briefly the ongoing zero tolerance and public school indoctrination of students by demonizing firearms and the Second Amendment. It's getting worse and worse. It's been bad for years. I've been hearing these stories for a long time, but
it's daily.
Recently it's getting really out of hand.
Daily and more local for everybody.
Last week I think we had the Pop-Tart. Kid was chewing a Pop-Tart sort of into a quasi shape of a gun.
What he said he was trying to do, and why wouldn't you believe him?
Right.
He was trying to eat it into the shape of a mountain.
Right.
And it turned out to more of like a gun.
Right.
And he claims he never said bang bang with it because he knows not
some
to do
people
that at
said
school.
That. Yeah.
And they said that he did say bang bang. So does it make a difference?
So it doesn't matter. Come on, the kid's like 6-7 years
matter.
old. It's ridiculous.
It doesn't matter.
We used to play cops and robbers and army guys all the time when we were kids. And
it's
we hardly killed anybody.
Only when you said bang bang.
Yeah, and we loved my sister because she's younger than us, and she always took her deads really well. My brother and I, we'd shoot her, and she would go right down and stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'd go and do something else because that was a way to get rid of her.
No,
but
we're still playing.
She's down there. Wait, you're doing good. 6 hours later,
that's mean.
my mom's like, "Where's Janelle?" I don't know.
Don't know.
Go check the basement. We had a small little pit dug down there, and anyways, no. Yeah, and also the next thing was the cupcake controversy, right? With the little green army men that we used to play with as kids. Good Lord.
That was back in the States, in our home state, in Michigan, right? The cupcakes. That one I believe was in Caro.
Oh yeah,
Caro, Michigan. Yeah, county seat of Tuscola County, actually, I believe, up in the Thumb region of Michigan.
Senator Green came out and said something about he thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much, he said, an action like this by the administration of a school is outrageous. Completely outrageous.
This is what we need to do. In Maryland, apparently, there's a Republican senator who's introduced a bill that would prohibit schools from suspending students for seemingly harmless childish acts, such as playing games with finger-pointed light guns or chewing guns into the shape of firearms. J.B. Jennings was quoted...
Hold on. I just now, I wish I could play it back to you, I just got proof that the indoctrination is working.
Okay.
Because instead of saying chewing a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun, you said...
What did I say?
That he was chewing guns into the shape of a firearm.
Oh, my God.
It's working.
And I went to a private school.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
And
that was back when guns were cool.
Nate.
It's everywhere, Brian.
Nate. Just, what do I want to do here? Where can I go?
I don't know.
Where is it? Where's my?
I...
Oh, here it is. Just do this.
Well, that made my job easier. That's for sure. All right, wake up.
Okay. Anyways, Jennings said, the senator in Maryland, said, these kids can't comprehend what they are doing or the ramifications of their actions. These suspensions are going on their permanent records. Remember, they used to always say that. This is going on your permanent record and could have long-lasting effects. I don't think it's going to have long-lasting effects on their education. I think it has long-lasting effects on their psyche.
You know
because
what?
It demonizes
you know what?
guns.
If these kids are suspended and they have to spend a week or two or a month or a year out of the public school system and at home with their parents learning something useful, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe suspending these children will actually be good for them.
As a parent that's raised a daughter, I don't know that spending a week with them is good for anybody, but that's just me.
No, that's a week with you. That's not good for anybody.
That is the difference.
We're talking about normal Americans.
Normal parents. So anyways, this is a bunch of crap. We've got to get this under control, this zero tolerance crap. Speaking of zero tolerance, not in any particular order, but Mark Kelly, the astronaut and husband of Gabby Giffords, they've formed a PAC called Responsible Solutions, along with a Texas lawyer, to ban assault rifles. Kelly said, in 1934 we banned automatic weapons. I argue that semi-automatic assault weapons with a high-capacity magazine is just too dangerous to be on the streets where criminals and terrorists and the mentally ill can easily get them. What if you had a criminal, terrorist, mentally ill person, all in one person getting it? Oh, it'd be terrible.
They generally are.
I just blew your mind, didn't I?
Well, no, because you just defined every terrorist or criminal that's going to commit some sort of violent act. I mean,
they're not mutually exclusive.
Now. They're not.
Yeah, okay.
They're not. If you're going to kill somebody, there's something wrong with your head. Right.
I would think so. So anyways, here's the rub. Kelly went out and reportedly bought an AR-15 and a 1911 style semi-automatic pistol at the Diamondback Police Supply in Tucson, Arizona. Oh my God, he got caught.
Good for him.
Great. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I love it. Unfortunately, somebody said, "Hey, isn't it kind of hypocritical of you to do this?" And he said, "Well, I was buying this 1911 handgun, and I saw this used AR-15 there, and so I bought that too because I'm going to donate it to the Tucson Police Department and turn it in. I'm going to be my own one-man gun buyback."
He wanted to point out the problems with background checks.
Oh yeah,
because if somebody as stupid as him can buy a gun, I mean, imagine Stevie Wonder with a gun.
Oh, we've done that.
Really,
we've
just
done that.
Imagine that, because he's so blind he'd be shooting everything.
We did that soundbite a while ago, and people can check out past shows. Anyways, yeah, he kind of spinned it and said, I bought it. I didn't really want it, but
yeah, it's just exploiting the system so I can prove that it's easy.
I think he got caught, though. I think he really wanted it for himself.
I'm sure he did. He knows it's going to be worth money. Well, it already is.
And there's talks that he might be running for his wife's seat. His wife's seat. I said that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
great.
know. I don't know if he will get
We need all of the anti-gun people in Congress we can get.
Well, like Feinstein, we have a little
Feinstein. Yeah.
sign.
No, I mean, she's too smart for us, I think.
She really is one of the elite.
She is.
She should be a super leader. She talked about hunting ducks and hunting people and all kinds of things.
I think we're going to head to a break first. When we come back, we will have that ad for you, or that soundbite for you, so stay tuned. But I want to remind you to go to adoddshow.com, click on the Audible ad, sign up for a free 30-day trial of Audible, and get a free audiobook download when you do that.
And we'll be back in a bit.
The voice of American conservatism. WRS Digital, Red State Talk Radio.
Fact. U.S. credit card debt is 8 times larger than it was 30 years ago. No wonder you and I are feeling the credit card crunch. You're not alone. Increasing prices and the costs of credit are stretching budgets and preventing people just like us from getting ahead or just catching up with our debts. At American Financial Debt Relief, we can help. We have tested ways to help you get out of debt. Find out how now. The call is free to learn more. If you qualify, we can reduce your interest, show you how to stop your debt from getting larger, and help you get out of debt faster than you can by making minimum payments. So if you're falling behind on your credit cards or medical bills, give us a call right now, where a free 5-minute call can change your life.
800-978-4815. 800-978-4815. Reduce your credit card debt. Call now. 800-978-4815. 800-978-4815.
Real radio for real Americans.
Red State Talk Radio.
Obama wants your money, and he's determined to get it. He wants your money to buy off unions, his Wall Street cronies, and to expand the Obama welfare nation. Well, Swiss America is determined to stop him from stealing your money. They want to send you an award-winning film, I Want Your Money, on DVD that exposes his plan. It'll help keep the government's hands off your money using gold, silver, and other hard asset strategies to protect your hard-earned money. Call today and request the DVD, I Want Your Money, normally $19.95, yours absolutely free. Let Swiss America show you how to use gold, silver, and other hard assets to protect your hard-earned money. Call now. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call Swiss America right now. Learn all about investing in gold. 800-932-5146. 800-932-5146. Call now.
And for better or worse, you're listening to At Odds with Nate and Brian. Before the break, we were talking about Feinstein's continued lunacy, about how she says it's legal to hunt humans. Nate, do you want to play that? I don't know. Did she really say that?
I think she said something like that. I want to remind you to check out the show at oddshow.com. You can email us, talk@oddshow.com if you want. Been getting a lot of comments that we didn't mention that, so go ahead and send us an email. But here's some...
Did you do the telephone number then?
No, I didn't. Go ahead.
Oh, I have to...
248-455-6337. 248-455-ODDS.
Time has come, America, to step up and ban these weapons. The other very important part of this bill is to ban large-capacity ammunition feeding devices, those that hold over 10 rounds. We have federal regulations and state laws that prohibit hunting ducks with more than 3 rounds, and yet it's legal to hunt humans with 15-round, 30-round, even 150-round magazines. Brilliant. Limiting magazine capacity is critical because it is when a criminal, a drug dealer, a deranged individual has to pause to change magazines and reload that the police or brave bystanders have the opportunity to take that individual down. We saw this scenario happen in Tucson, Arizona.
And she goes on to explain how her friend, Gabrielle Giffords, was shot in Tucson.
But a couple of things. One is that's a fallacy about, reloading and you'll be able to attack the person. There was a sheriff that did a demonstration where he was timing people, a man and a woman. One was proficient and one not so proficient. And they actually had a scenario where they had a person like 20 feet away, and they shot like a 10-round magazine. And they had, when the person was out of bullets, that person charged the person with a gun, and the guy with the gun then had to change his magazine and start firing again. And I think the guy got like 6 steps maybe out of the 21 that he was away before the guy started shooting again. So really, to change a 10-round magazine and to use their excuse that it slows someone down is not true.
Yeah, before I lost all of my firearms in a boating accident, I got pretty proficient at changing magazines with a couple of my guns, the ones that I carried all the time.
But I think what would be better is if you got rid of the gun-free zones and you allowed law-abiding people to carry guns in those areas that actually could return fire at the active shooter and not have to wait until they had to change their magazines.
Well, this is the point, is she wants small magazine capacity so that when you're reloading, a brave bystander can jump in and do something.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want that brave bystander
to be armed,
to be properly armed. And that doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree.
Why would you not want the people helping out, just like the police, if they happen to show up on time?
20 minutes later.
Because if you have a 10-round magazine, that gives the police enough time to show up while they're reloading.
Yeah, this demonstration I saw on YouTube, and you can go and check it, and it's Magazine Reload. I don't know what it's called, but anyways, it's a really good YouTube video, and it was like, I don't know, a second. The guy could change a magazine out, a second
Virtually
and a half.
no difference between
there was hardly any
two
slowdown.
10 rounds and a 20-round magazine. I mean, now, maybe if you're talking a 7-round magazine and you want to shoot the same as the 150-round magazine, there might be a couple second difference you might be able to tell in there.
And then at the end, which was great, they did the New York reload. You know what that is?
Yeah.
That's where you just pull out like 18 guns and you just keep shooting and throw the gun away when it runs out of bullet and grab another gun. And, they shot 100 rounds in a matter of seconds.
And that's what you have to do in New York because you're only allowed to have 7 bullets in a magazine there.
Right. Everybody's going to have 15 guns in New York. So that's a bunch of crap.
Speaking of New York, the soda ban.
Yeah.
The soda ban. I'm sure
Thank God we had
knows.
a judge that came up with some sense.
Yeah. The mayor and his health panel that he appointed, none of them elected, decided to ban sodas. It wasn't even legislation through the city council or anything. It was a special panel and whatever. And a judge 2 days ago, I think, overturned it and said that you can't do that.
Yeah. It was, I'll read you his quote, but I just want to say his name because this poor guy had to end up being a Supreme Court justice because his name was Milton Tingling.
Yeah, Milton Tingling.
Milton Tingling. He said, oh, good.
Oh, no.
He said he ruled that New York City is enjoined and permanently restrained from implementing or enforcing the new regulations. And he added that Mayor Michael Bloomberg's attempts at portion control were both arbitrary and capricious. Which is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he just picked
16 ounces.
Yep, that's it. You don't need more than 16 ounces.
But nobody's banning anything. You can just buy 2 8-ounces or 3 8-ounces
or you could have a 30-round magazine or a 15-round magazine or just swap them. Oh, wait a minute.
No, it's not the same.
It's
not
exactly the same.
This judge,
I'm 2 fists in those bottles of soda right now. One in each hand.
Well, you see my 64-ounce cup that I have every time full of soda.
But you're in Michigan, so.
Oh, right. This judge
in Malta.
Mustache. What's his name?
Mustache.
Geraldo.
We just call him Harry.
Geraldo Rivera this morning was making a huge deal because this Judge Tingling, he's not a small man.
He's a big guy?
He's a big guy.
I didn't
so
see
Geraldo
is
pretty concerned that this judgment that he made was solely based on
because he likes 16 ounces of soda.
He's fat and he wants his big pop.
What a jerk!
And Geraldo's a Republican.
He's
really?
an idiot.
So is what's his face there in New York City, right? I can't remember his name. I don't like him, so I just forget his name.
Bloomberg?
Yeah, Bloomberg.
He's an independent now.
Okay.
Remember, he was a Democrat,
yeah,
and then he went to Republican, and now he's hit the trifecta of parties.
Too worthless to fit anywhere.
Oh, he's a piece
so he's
of
an
crap.
independent now.
He's a piece of crap.
Yeah, he is.
Why does New York keep...
Here's the thing. He's wasting more time and money challenging this. He's going to appeal it.
I know it. He's stupid.
Much like they did with the, was it the salt or the trans fat? No, smoking. They appealed that.
I don't know. You're jumping around. All I know is I want my French fries and cigarettes.
Well, New York City was one of the first places to ban smoking in public
I
places.
know that's.
And unfortunately, the rest of the country generally follows what they do when they do stupid things. But it was struck down and appealed, and finally they got their way. And I'm pretty sure it was the smoking. So he's pretty confident that he will get his way eventually after spending all of the city's tax money to fight this in court.
Yeah.
That eventually anything larger than 16 ounces, if it's too sugary, will be banned. As long as it doesn't have more than 50% milk.
We don't have time to talk about Kwame Kilpatrick in Detroit, too. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, guilty as charged.
Oh.
Darn, 149 years in jail. I really don't know what it was. It was quite a bit. But
he didn't get it. They haven't sentenced him yet, but he could get up to 20 years.
Yeah.
And he owes like $800,000.
I mean, honestly, shocker. Detroit mayor is corrupt.
Yeah,
really?
they mentioned they mentioned he's not the first one. You wanted to touch on the TSA allows certain weapons and why, and and then we'll talk about some of the deadly weapons they're allowing on aircrafts now.
Well, I think let's start with that because that's important. I mean, what they're allowing things like corkscrews and small knives and things.
Yeah, like 2.36
inches.
Yeah.
A Swiss Army knife.
And a half an inch wide. They're using a small Swiss Army knife as the standard. And so you can have like a little nail clipper knife, and stuff like that.
Yep.
Corkscrew was there. Samurai swords were allowed. Hand grenades were allowed.
My problem with this is that I have this tendency to always err on the side of freedom. When I think about an issue that comes up and something the government's doing, the TSA, who is the government, I always say, is this giving people more or less freedom? And if it is less freedom, then it is wrong.
Or there's got to be a damn good reason for it.
If it is less freedom, it is wrong.
Or there's got to be a good reason for it.
Yeah, we disagree on that. And we've talked about things like that.
No, but
before.
I mean, the Supreme Court has said, there has to be
a damn good reason for it.
Right.
The TSA is not a good reason to.
No, let's get rid of them. And the sequester, they're talking about, we might lose, oh, good Lord. I hope
what's
we
weird?
Can get rid of
Airports
TSA.
in California, huge liberal state who love the government, airports in California have opted out of the TSA. And the thing is, the way that they work there is more government for you. Don't oppress us, but for you. My problem with the TSA getting rid of these weapons, it is not a problem with allowing the weapons on airplanes. The problem is I see all these so-called conservatives and Republicans and people getting on TV complaining that the TSA is now allowing these small knives on airplanes.
What the hell?
Why? You can't hate everything they do. If they do less of their job of harassing people, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
If you have more freedom to take things onto airplanes, if you might possibly have a knife when some terrorist does get on there to hijack the plane, you might be able to do something. That's a good thing.
They're also, I guess, not going to let seniors won't have to take off their shoes all the time.
Oh, really?
And maybe some little kids won't get their little goodies felt up and everything.
Let's hope.
I have a personal anecdote. A friend of mine was coming back from Jamaica last week, and it was during the sequester. And he had some issues coming back. Like his flights were canceled going into Miami because they didn't have any custom agents, they said, so he had to go to Texas. And then his wife was picked out. She was picked for screening. You know that?
No.
And they stripped her down and they did everything and they made him leave. He couldn't stay there and watch.
She looks like a terrorist. I mean, let me tell you. I mean,
if you like 6 foot tall blondes that are knockout good looking,
and they do,
and
that's how it works. Well, let's not forget the sting they did where the guy went through with a bomb more than once.
Let me just tell you, and I guess on your ticket they have SSSSS on it, and that means that you're going to be screened. So
really?
you already know that you're going to be pulled aside.
Sometimes
for extra
probably, right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Well, because they do that hand thing to see if you've handled a bomb in the
They did that to her. They did that to her, and shoes off, everything. Oh, it was terrible. Anyways, we're getting to the top of the hour. We
really
need to take a nap. A nap?
We do need a nap.
We do need a nap. We need an ad.
Wow, a break.
Break. And hopefully Jan will be back with us after the hour.
Yeah, hopefully she will. So Facebook.com/AddOddsShow.
Red State Talk Radio.
The idea of government taking over healthcare is enough to make you sick.
The conservative voice.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. 1-800-257-2873. That's 1-800-257-2873.
Great shot, Bob. I think you're on.
I just followed your lead.
Hey, by the way, did you break ground on your new building?
No way. I'm holding off until I see what the future holds.
So you're seeing a fortune teller?
You know what I mean. Things look a little uncertain.
The only thing certain in business is if you're not growing, you're losing. And we just opened our 5th facility last week. If you're following my lead, you'll call General Steel. Their pre-engineered steel buildings could save you as much as half the cost compared to conventional buildings. And they're up in nearly half the time, and backed with a 50-year structural warranty.
Yeah, but steel buildings...
Hey, you've seen my building. Does it look like steel?
No, it looks great.
Ask about rebates that could save you up to $20,000. Look, you can stop paying rent and own a building that suits your business better and probably saves you money by operating more efficiently. In times like these, don't stop spending, just spend wisely.
800-398-8309, 800-398-8309, 800-398-8309, 800-398-8309.
Red State Talk Radio.
Why spend more than you have to on your life insurance? Did you know that term life insurance rates have fallen over 60% in the last 15 years? At the Life Insurance Quote Line, we monitor the rates, features, and financial strength of hundreds of life insurance products. For example, a healthy 40-year-old can protect his family with $500,000 of 10-year level term for less than $20 a month. Rates for women are even lower. And don't forget to ask us about the new term life policies that guarantee your money back even if you don't die. Since 1986, we've helped tens of thousands of people just like you save a fortune on their life insurance. Why not find out how much you can save? Write down this number and call today for your free quote. 1 5-minute call is all it takes. Call 800-610-3497. 800-610-3497. That's 800-610-3497. Rates, policy, forms, and availability on the website.
Here she comes again, riding on the wind, taking her time, slowly winding in. Why it's so damn hard to look into her eyes? She takes it as it comes, she tries to toe the line, she tries to toe the line. Here she comes again, riding whiskey wheels, the sun rushing through her hair. Won't you take me there?
Well, welcome back to At Odds. We have on the phone, hi Nate, Jan Morgan. She did call in. I just want to say that Jan is an Associated Press award-winning veteran television investigative journalist, now turned citizen activist for the conservative movement. Her conservative voice has generated a following over 350,000 friends and subscribers on her website and her 3 Facebook pages. Jan currently anchors a 30-minute television program in her home state and has co-hosted American Akbar, an international radio blog. She's a frequent guest commentator on the Armstrong-Williams Show in Washington, D.C., and has appeared as a guest on many Fox Radio and several conservative talk show radio stations. Jan is an NRA-certified firearm safety range officer and instructor, recently completing her testing to become a state-certified concealed carry instructor in her home state of Arkansas. Jan has aligned with Patriot Close Combat Consultants to teach armed and female classes across the country, and hand-to-hand combat and firearm self-defense classes specifically geared towards women. You can visit her website at www.janmorganmedia.com. Welcome, Jan.
Well, thank you. What an introduction.
I tried to fit it all in there. You're a busy woman.
Got a lot going on.
Yes, a very busy woman. In fact, I was just doing another radio show before I got on with you, and I hope they were finished with me. I think they were. But,
well, we got you now.
I guess I'll be hearing from them if not. So anyway, how are you guys?
We're doing pretty good. Jan will be one of our keynote speakers along with Doug Giles at the Michigan Pro Gun Rally on March 20th at the state capitol in Lansing, Michigan. She's going to have a lot to say, I suspect, about gun rights, and the ongoing attempt to take away our firearms. Now,
absolutely.
I know you've been all over the country and you speak at a lot of rallies around the country at different state capitals. I just kind of wanted to ask, when did you get started shooting guns? Have you always been a gun person?
Well, I was raised in a family with hunters. I mean, my dad was a hunter, my uncles were hunters, and so guns were always around, guns, mostly rifles. But when I went off to college, Dad sent me off to college with a little .38 revolver. I really didn't pay that much attention to it. It was just nice to have it there in case I needed it, but I never really needed it. Did not conceal carry at that time, but within the last couple of years, because of the nature of my political posts, I've had a lot of death threats. Specifically, the posts related to Islam have really led to a lot of issues for me, security-wise.
Sure.
So I had to get more serious about self-defense, and that's when I started. I purchased my first AR-15, and Bushmaster, by the way.
Yeah.
I love my AR, and it is not an assault rifle. It is not a weapon of mass destruction. And the fact that I love to go to the range and burn up hundreds of rounds at a time does not mean I'm crazy.
No.
It means I just happen to love my AR. But that's how I got involved. And then I started, I love firearms. I purchased a number of handguns. I'm not going to talk about the number or what I have,
sure,
but just that I have them, and I love them, and I really, really have a passion for teaching other women to defend themselves. That is something that is so rewarding to me.
Yeah, I noticed that you have taken on training women, and I think that's a great thing.
Yes.
One of the things that
yes, because I train. I mean, you're never, you can never say I know everything there is to know about guns and rifles. I love training myself. I love going and actually taking classes, and I'm a lifetime member of Front Sight Firearms Institute, by the way.
Yeah.
They have some of the coolest training programs there. So I really like learning, but I also like sharing what I've learned. And I'm amazed at how many people, men and women, out here in this country who have their concealed carry license and do not know a thing about firearms and they have not had proper training. They managed to hold a gun long enough to shoot some shots at a target, and somewhere along the way, their concealed carry instructors did not put them through the course and teach them what they need. They know the laws. They've been taught the law when they can and can't use lethal force, and then they were able to hold a gun long enough to shoot some bullets at the target and hit a piece of paper. But as far as actually knowing how to handle a gun and knowing how to take care of a gun, there are people that are seriously lacking in those skills, and that makes me a little bit nervous.
Well, that's
so I'm trying to do my part to change that.
Yeah, I mean that's the first step. That class, that's the introduction, and it doesn't end there. Just like education all around throughout your life, you need to constantly keep learning and keep training. And and they kind of give you the basics, but really you need to go out and you need to shoot a lot, and you can take advanced courses. And Front Sight was a great sponsor of our Second Amendment March rally when we did our big rally in Washington, D.C. in 2010. I'm on the board of directors for that, and they are the ones that are putting on this rally in Michigan. So, we're big proponents of additional training. Now you spoke in New York, and New York has some odious laws that they're trying to pass, and they have passed some.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, they do. The SAFE Act.
And you had some big crowds there. How did that go?
There were about 3,000 people there, and of course all of the television network stations were there, the ABC, NBC, and CBS affiliate, as well as the Fox affiliate. The Fox affiliate was the only one that actually interviewed me. The rest of them, I think, were a little PO'd, because the first thing I said when I got up on the podium was, I have a message for the television networks here today, and the message is, my AR-15 is not an assault rifle, and my AR-15 is not a weapon of mass destruction. And then I talked about how the media is quick to jump on any stories, any crimes that are gun-related, but what they don't tell the American people is that last year 2.5 million people pulled guns in self-defense situations and saved lives. You never hear about that on the news. So I really sort of was tacky to all the networks there, admonishing them for overlooking all of the news and just reporting selectively the anti-gun stories. So but Fox interviewed me, and they gave me some fair airtime, so I was happy about that. But yes, lots of folks there, very frustrated Americans who are living in the New York area who are just really under the gun, so to speak, on the pun.
Nice pun.
Yeah, on their gun rights.
So you were ingratiating yourself to all the liberal media, I see.
Absolutely. The liberal media loves me anyway. But you know what? I used to work in the liberal media. I was a television anchor. I have worked for all three major network affiliates, ABC, NBC, CBS. I was an anchor for CBS in New Orleans for a while, worked for CBS in Shreveport for about 8 years, and then NBC and ABC before that. So I've had my fill of the networks, and I understand, and being there firsthand, I know what those newsroom meetings are like. I know what it's like when the boss says, this is what you have to cover, and what it's like to have producers tell you, well, you can tell this part of the story, but we don't have time for you to get into that part. And that's how it happens. There is absolutely liberal bias in the mainstream media, and it's difficult to be a conservative and work in that environment. So Fox News was not around, or they weren't a big name back in the dark ages when I finally got out of mainstream media and started my own website and my own media reporting. But at least now I don't have a producer telling me what I can and can't say, and so I'm stuck with just telling the truth, which is a wonderful position to be in.
Absolutely. And your site is big. You have a lot of followers. You have great articles on your site. You share other people's articles on your website as well, and you've taken on this mantle of freedom, not only just gun rights, but civil liberties all around. I mean,
absolutely. Well, and by the way, I'm wondering why I'm not getting any articles written by you guys to put on my site. What's up with that?
Well, I have one. I can send you one. I don't know if you mind sharing it. Doug put it on his Clash Radio site, and it's actually comparing vaccinations and preventing deaths by allowing guns into gun-free zones. And it's kind of like using the analogy of putting in a virus, which is the gun, to build up the resistance to protect the host, which would be a school or whatever. So I have an article. If you'd be interested, I can send it to you. If you choose to put it up, you can.
Absolutely, yes.
You're welcome
you send me articles anytime. I'll be glad to post them on my page, especially if it's Second Amendment, any Second Amendment stuff. I love it.
All right, we'll do that. We also have, the book My Parents Open Carry, which is a pro-guns kids book.
Yes, which I have read, by the way. I love that book, and I intend to promote it.
Okay.
I do. I ran across it the other day in my library, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to promote that. I meant to begin with.
Well,
it's a great book for parents who have kids.
Absolutely, yeah.
Who find themselves in a situation having to explain why their parents carry guns.
And
so
we were hoping for like homeschoolers as well, when they come across teaching, the Constitution, they can use that text as part of their Second Amendment with homeschooling.
One of the things that I say to parents since you brought up the Constitution, is, and I think this is one of the problems why we are where we are in this country today. For too many years, we have sat back and allowed our public school systems to
Amen.
Yeah, to really infiltrate the minds of our young people, and I should use the word indoctrinate.
It is. No, that's what it is.
Because there are a lot of great public school teachers. So I want to make sure I'm very careful about this. A lot of people with the right minds and hearts out there. Millions of people teaching in public schools. They're doing a great job. But all it takes is one. All it takes is one history professor, one teacher, one history teacher, one science teacher, one teacher here and there sporadically in our schools that put out the wrong kind of information to our kids instead of sticking to the curriculum. And, of course, we're finding more and more. If you look at the Christian Action Network, they're finding absolute false information in a number of our textbooks in our public school systems where they're misleading our kids with wrong information or leaving out pertinent information. So when you mention the Constitution, one of the things I like to talk about with people is that we need to get back to the Constitution and teaching our kids at a very early age what that is, why the Bill of Rights is the foundation, and why it is so important. And even in our school systems, I think even in the kindergarten age and first grade stages, we can, on their level, start making them understand that this Constitution is a very important thing, and it's the reason we're free. And just, putting it in simple terms for them so that they understand from the very beginning that the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, that is something that's just sacred in America, and it's so important. So that, and each year you add to what you use in their curriculum to educate them more and more so that by the time they graduate from high school, they are so sensitive to the Constitution and the Bill of Rights that anything that our government tries to do, anything that a legislator puts out there that goes against the Constitution, our people are so sensitive to it that it immediately raises red flags. We have so much put before our legislature now that is unconstitutional that shouldn't even be voted on. In my opinion, a bill should have to pass constitutional muster before it ever goes on the floor for a vote. And we've gotten so far from that, and we're so desensitized, our people are so desensitized to trampling of the Constitution that they just say, oh, well, yeah, there it goes again. There he goes again. Our president's trampled the Constitution. Oh, well, I guess it's okay. It's happening so much that it just seems like the status quo now, and it should be an outrage to the American people.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Absolutely. We have Jen Morgan on the line with us. She's one of the keynote speakers at the rally that we're having next Wednesday, March 20th, here in Lansing, Michigan. Jan, you brought up education. Have you seen any of the Common Core stuff? I don't want to get too far off on this, but Common Core is this big, really countrywide, but it's run by the state supposedly, but it's a curriculum overhaul. And a lot of the stuff they're definitely getting away from a lot of the anything religious they're getting rid of, and getting rid of all conservative values out of curriculum. And I think that's kind of the goal. And Common Core is the name of the thing that the administration is really pushing. But have you seen much of that at all?
I posted a story on my website just last week about in the state of Texas. Part of that curriculum included forcing students to wear burqas in one of the classes and insisting that they refer to Islamic terrorists as freedom fighters.
Oh, I saw that.
Which was very, that's outrageous. And at the same time, you've got, a kid being sent home from public school. I did an article about this. I showed how, here's an instance of, we had a kid sent home from public school and he was threatened expulsion if he did not take off his shirt. His T-shirt said Marines across the front. It was a simple green T-shirt with the word Marines written across the front, and it had the Marine logo, which was the two rifles crossed. And he was told that could be considered offensive, and he had to take off the shirt. And yet, at the same time, we've got another school system in our country that's telling kids you have to wear these burqas and you have to refer to Islamic terrorists as freedom fighters. So we're standing against our own military and promoting terrorism. I don't get that, but it's all in the name of political correctness, which is absolutely destroying this country.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. You were in New York, where it's they're obviously pretty hostile towards gun ownership, and we see Colorado going down the same path, maybe even worse. Do you think, with the people you've talked to, do you get a sense that there is enough behind this for an opposition? There are enough people on our side that are waking up and starting to speak out that it will make a difference?
Let me say this. I know when you've got 90 million gun owners in this country with over 300 million guns, that should be, we shouldn't have to fear at all the government infringing on our gun rights. But the problem is we have so many gun owners in this country who stand back. For example, that rally in New York, I heard it time and time again from people, because I milled through the crowds. Before I spoke and after I spoke, I visited with the people who were there. I visited with as many people as I possibly could. And what I kept hearing over and over again was, you know, there was another bus that was supposed to come, or there were this many buses that were supposed to come, and these people backed out because they were hunters, and they said, oh, well, that doesn't really affect us. You know, I just care about my hunting rifles.
Can't stand that.
Well, if we let them infringe in this respect on our handguns and our AR-15s that they consider assault weapons of assault, then your hunting rifles are next. We already have over 30,000 gun control laws on the books in this country today, and that's 29,999 too many.
Exactly.
So, you know, I think that the problem is we don't have enough gun owners in this country who really view the government as a threat at this point. The government as a threat coming after their Second Amendment rights. I think they really think that, oh, they're just talking. They've threatened before and it hasn't happened. But it can happen and it will happen if we don't stand up and fight. And people are not fighting enough. We've got to get people to these rallies.
You know, today's deer rifle is tomorrow's sniper rifle, and we can't have sniper rifles.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? I've got a Mossberg 590 12-gauge shotgun. And what's so funny, I had a friend of mine with the Illinois Gun Owners Political Action Committee. Those are the folks that brought me into Illinois. I went to Chicago, believe it or not, and did a women's firearms class, and there were 56 women in my class.
Good for you.
That's how desperate women are there to learn how to shoot and carry guns. But my friend with the Political Action Committee, Gun Owners Political Action Committee from Chicago, she came and visited me last week, spent a week with me, and we were talking about this problem, and she said that they were having the same problem there. People just are not realizing that the threat is real and that they've got to stand up. If they don't, we are going to lose what we already have, and it is happening. And I think that you're looking at states like Colorado. Who would have thought? I didn't expect that to happen in Colorado.
No one could have guessed that. Well, we've got a couple minutes. Do you think Illinois will get the concealed carry law passed?
Yes. Well, you know, it's passed, but what the holdup now is the legislature. They're having to battle over exactly what's going to go in that law. The Supreme Court has already told them you cannot deny the citizens their right to concealed carry. It's unconstitutional. So they have to give their citizens the right to concealed carry. But here's the catch. With that legislature in Illinois, they're going to put so many restrictions on the people. For example, you can't even buy ammunition there without a FOID card. I went to Illinois, and I went to a gun store, and you can't buy anything there without a FOID card, which is, you know, you have to jump through hoops to get that. You have to wait months and months and months.
That's your permission slip.
Yes, and so, you know, we have a lot at stake in this country right now, and if we don't continue to fight vigorously, we all stand to lose. Not just the hunters and not just the people who care about AR-15s. But I was going to tell you about my Mossberg real quickly.
Yeah.
My Mossberg 590 12-gauge looks more like an assault rifle than my AR-15.
Right.
Because I've tricked it out. I put a collapsible buttstock on it and a grip, and I put the bullet, you know, the shotgun shell casing holders on the sides, and it's got the strap with the shotgun casing, the bullet holder. So you look at that, and if Joe Biden were to see that, it would scare him to death. He would definitely think that was an assault rifle, and it's just simply a 12-gauge shotgun. So it's all about how it looks to the liberals. If it looks scary, it must be bad.
Well, listen to this right here.
There you go. Universal language right there.
Exactly.
We don't have any guns around here. One quick thing, Jan, I wanted to bring up. I'm sure this touches what you work on specifically, but and I can't remember the congressman's name. I think it was in Colorado. I'm not sure, but they mentioned they were talking about women in combat.
Oh yeah,
and they mentioned that women should be in combat, but they shouldn't carry an assault rifle, an AR-15.
And that was
or
McCarthy
something.
in New York.
It was McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's too hard for a woman. You know, they need to carry a traditional weapon.
What's a traditional combat weapon? Is that a musket?
Actually, my AR-15 has less recoil and is easier for a woman to shoot than a shotgun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's videos all over showing that women shooting shotguns and versus the AR-15, and it's no contest.
Yes, all those videos of women falling to the gun after they're shooting shotguns, just for the record, none of those women were students of mine, okay?
No.
Yeah, and it is all training and technique. I mean,
absolutely.
Most people can handle a wide range of weapons if they're trained.
Yeah, you just don't hand a newbie, here's a 12-gauge double-aught buckshot. Go ahead and just stand there and shoot it and not tell them what to expect.
I'm a small one. I'm 5'4", okay? I'm a small woman. I don't have any trouble shooting my 12-gauge shotgun. I did put a collapsible buttstock on it because it was too long for me.
Yeah.
But if you lean into the rifle, if you mount it properly on your shoulder and you lean into the shot instead of standing up there or cocking your hip to one side like I've seen some women do, if you'll lean into that, so you put your body weight into it, you can handle any kind of recoil.
Yep. All right, Jan, we're coming up on time here. I don't want to be rude, but we want to thank you for being on our show.
so much.
We appreciate it. And
absolutely.
We hope you had fun.
Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Yep, you'll see us both March 20th, if not sooner.
Yeah, at the Lansing State Capitol in Michigan.
Yep.
So
and have
I'll
a
be
good
there.
And bring your long johns just in case.
Just in case.
We could have a blizzard
Okay.
or we could have sunshine. We don't know.
I'll be prepared for both.
Yeah,
All
be
right,
prepared.
great. Thanks, Jan.
Okay,
Thanks so
looking forward
much,
to it, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was Jan Morgan. What a delightful woman. And she's easy on the eyes. She's a very attractive woman. She's sweet. And I don't think you want to mess around with her because I think she knows how to take care of herself.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But that's about all the time we have now, so we're wrapping up.
And we want to thank you for listening to At Odds. And we will see you next Tuesday at 7:30.
Thanks for listening to At Odds.